breaks to stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins tailgate's where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL-wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait, it's your fate. This is the Fins tailgate, now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
What is happening, Dolphin fans, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Been a while, hadn't seen anybody since the Super Bowl, and then after the Super Bowl, making fun of it and stuff like that. Hit the like button on your way in. You know, we had some news yesterday, so I figured I'd get into some of that stuff, give you guys a little bit on my take of where the team's kind of going. I mean, it is a bit of the inevitable, right? I mean, is such groundbreaking type of moves to out with the old and in with the new, or is it just par for the course? I mean, whatever, right? Like let's be real. If Chris Greer was still the GM, wouldn't he be making most of these now anyhow? Right? I'm just saying. Hit the like button, guys, on the way in. Subscribe if you're new. If you guys are watching on any of the other networks, make sure you guys are getting in over here on YouTube and subscribing. Let me pull this stuff up here real quick. Yeah. All right. So, couple of things. Some players getting released, as you guys may have heard. It started out with Bradley Chubb being announced, that the team had informed him that they plan to release him, as the dust has settled from several other players being announced and released. He yet to be actually officially cut, Bradley Chubb. So We're going to get into all that stuff too. We're going to talk about, what the guys were traded here for, whether or not this is good. I mean, I don't know, guys. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. Hit the like button. What's happening, everybody? Shout out to Dewey in chat. Got in here early. The Purge is on. That's right. We in here. Shadow in here. What's up, Shadow? Cap. What's going on, my brother? Cap. Hit the like button. Michael K swinging in here. Night Wolf. I got you, Night Wolf. Hit the like button, brother. Jimmy in the crib. What's up, Jimmy? Mario, what's going on? Yeah, we're going to talk about the multi-year deals on Daniels and Westbrook, Akine, and stuff like that. Let's get into it, right? So let's start it off with the bang of what actually happened. So a little bit of the timeline here. Yesterday, they announced Bradley Chubb right around, I don't know, early morning, mid-morning, almost midday. They say that, Bradley Chubb getting cut. Big thing. Oh, no. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. We got action, baby. Then, shortly after, it's Tyreek Hill getting cut as well. Boom. Two big names that the last regime, Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, all these guys that are now out of the job, two of the biggest moves they made. Because say what you want. Yeah, they paid other players. They made other moves, but they gave away a lot of capital and a lot of money to both those guys. If we're looking back in retrospect, and I'm going to tell you guys what we all paid for this stuff. We'll get into it. Fuck it. I got all the notes. I went ahead and did the work. So we'll start with how it started. Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb being the first name released. Now, we don't have a guarantee on the timetable, and I want to tell you a little bit about that here right now. But if you guys remember, in 2022, before the trade deadline, the Miami Dolphins traded for Bradley Chubb. Now, you guys recall, this was a lot about what we were pivoting to on defense at the time, having some little bit of defensive carousel going on, trying to find a defensive identity in 2022 as Mike McDaniel's in his first year, and we, have the offensive-minded guy, but we've kicked Brian Flores out the year prior. So they bring in him, and then that's when the immediate reactions and speculation of Fangio was going to come to Miami, and that didn't happen for a little while later. But the Dolphins ended up trading for him before the trade deadline to Denver. Denver received a first-round pick, a future fourth-round pick. They also took Chase Edmonds off of our back, and we ended up getting a fifth-round back. Now, ultimately, for what Bradley Chubb was in his career to that point and the trade compensation, it was a little high. It was essentially a first in which we swapped a fourth and a fifth, and they ate some of the dead cap money and took Chase Edmonds, who was not working out here in Miami, if you guys recall. Immediately after acquiring Chubb, the Dolphins restructure him for $110 million in a 5-year extension, meaning they pay him the rest of his money in 2022 and 5 years extended off of that. And the Dolphins, I mean, that's not uncommon, right? That happens. We know you trade for a guy, you better sign him. A lot of times when you trade for a guy who's already under contract, the first thing you're going to do is want to manipulate the money to your will. And as a player, they always want that. They want to be re-signed anyhow. Oh, you just traded for me? You really want me to be a part of your team, part of what you're building, a part of what's coming? Then you're going to want to also, as a management crew, make that right by putting the money together. And ultimately, this is what teams do a lot. So you make a trade, especially in the middle of the year, which is a little bit more uncouth, if you will, as far as how you should build a team. I see you down there, Michael K. Got Epstein on the mind, huh? Just can't get over it, can you? You're one of them Epstein Island vampires, right? That's what I hear. know who you are. Trying to lure me out to a yacht in the Mediterranean or some shit. Fuck out of here. Anyhow, so Chubb gets to Miami. They're going to want to, as a management group, giving up the capital, they're going to want to manipulate that money how they want to. So cutting him right now would save the team. I just had it. Of course, my notes went away. Save the team around $7 million in cap space, and we would count to about $24 million against the cap and dead cap. Now, we could, and this is probably what they're waiting for, why it hasn't become official just yet. If with a post-June designation, we'll save $20 million. That's $13 more million. It's a no-brainer. He's one of the highest count in money we'll get back from a player we choose to cut on the team, guys that I have on my list. So, to me, he's going to be a post-June cut. And that's what they've informed. Yeah, we're releasing you. We're letting you know now. The league year starts, I think, March 5th. So as soon as the league year starts on March 5th, we're going to cut you with a post-June designation, in which case he can take off till June and maybe do some interviews and get some stuff in line for his next gig. And that'll be that. And the Dolphins will get back $13 million. So that's what's going to happen. And they're going to operate in that cap structure with their team getting under the cap, which is what a lot of this is, getting under the cap. They needed to do that. Next up, big time Tyreek Hill. Now, unlike Chubb, Tyreek Hill, although made more money and cost more to acquire, I believe delivered more in the value department, right? Tyreek Hill was a show. You could say what you want about Tyreek Hill and his antics and what happened here, getting arrested out in front of let me correct that. Getting detained out in front of the stadium on game day, getting into a little bit of a disagreement, if we will, and a little bit of words were had at the marina. Having some words with the missus, her filing for divorce, and then it not really filing for divorce, and then they're pregnant and have a baby. Like the sideshow distractions of Tyreek Hill were there. No one's gonna deny it. But I don't care. Give me sideshow guy. I'll take 53 sideshow guys if they're all freaking playing like Tyreek Hill. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Nightwolf, that's where we're going to end up, close to 60 million. It's around I got the numbers. I'll read them off here in a minute. But yeah, to me this is a this is right on cue, if you will. As far as Tyreek Hill getting cut and all of the antics, and when the Dolphins traded for Tyreek to Kansas City, it cost them a first-round pick, a second-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, and a 6th-round pick. That is an expensive purchase. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of picks. And although he played well and made everybody in the building look right about this, ultimately, in the end, everybody lost their jobs, and Tyreek Hill's finding his way out the door with the rest of them. And that's kind of what it is, right? Dolphins also. Well, here's an interesting little tidbit on the Tyreek Hill front, right? Is that they cut him. They didn't release him. Tyreek Hill is cut. Now, there is in languages, right? There's release, there's cut, there's waive, there's all different ways in which you can word this. And it's a little interesting with the wording on what the Dolphins decided to do with Tyreek Hill, and I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna actually have to hide the whatchamacallit, but so there's a YouTube doctor, internet doctor, David Chow, which is a football guy. I mean, he's one of these dudes a lot of people cite around here. Tyreek Hill, from what I'm understanding, was cut because he failed his physical. And they're also, obviously, he failed his physical. They could choose and stuff like that. But there's also now beginning speculation on Tyreek Hill being with his injury and getting cut at the physical, being in some kind of gray area with his designation of his injury and it being career threatening. So, like, in the contract, there's loopholes like any contract. If you can't fulfill the contract for a myriad of reasons, being that if you suffer a catastrophic injury, it's going to keep you out 2 years or more. If you want to know, think back to when Alex Smith got injured and the money they were paying him before all that happened. Have to pay him that money when that knee injury happened to him. And it was kind of under a designation like this. Yes, he ultimately came back and played again. I don't think it's so drastic here with Tyreek Hill, but just listen to how they categorize it. So in this language of would it be being deemed as cuttable and it now being a medical cut, they have a tier system to it. So just listen into this audio real quick.
I'd love to see Tyreek Hill continue to play. His injury is significant, though. His early season injury was a knee dislocation. This was by video, an immediate worry for nerve damage, peroneal nerve palsy. He appeared to have the nerve palsy when he was seen walking after his initial surgery. He's said to need another surgery per his own post, and he's been cut by the Dolphins, likely with a failed physical designation, although that hasn't been specified yet.
So it is specified. It is a failed physical that he is. So that's been confirmed. Alan Pupar confirmed that on X.
He won't be able to sign with another team until he can pass another physical. And so it remains to be seen when that might happen. He's 31, I believe, and any significant knee injury, much less a knee dislocation, is in the career-threatening category for the type of player that he is. I certainly hope it's not career-ending. I want to see him back. Where he lands will be a different story, and it seems more likely that would be closer to later this season or next season than right now.
So, yeah, again, dislocation and all that stuff, how it finna be. I said as soon as I saw the injury, especially it was late in the year, like he probably ain't gonna play much at all next season. If he does come back, it would probably be in the playoffs, which is probably exactly what he wants. I would also say this is not career threatening to a guy like Tyreek. We've seen him; he's already moving around and stuff like that. So as far as the Dolphins getting away with some kind of finagling, this is some stuff I heard people talking about. As far as them getting away with some finagling, as far as medical cut designation to them receive some money that they would have had, that's not going to happen. So hit the like button, everybody. The next guy that they have on the cut list, and this is just, it's a no-brainer. Somebody we haven't thought a lot about because he didn't play a lot of football for us. But there's also some weird, juicy stuff added into this. So James Daniels, the guard we brought in. Now here's a guy, he was with the Bears. He was with whatchamacallit too, Pittsburgh. This is a dude that has had injury. He had a torn pectoral in Chicago, tore his Achilles in Pittsburgh the year before we got him. He comes here, he plays 3 snaps. He goes down and doesn't come back. Falling apart, this guy. The Dolphins, by cutting him, now, this isn't a drastic amount, and honestly, you can only post-June designate 2 guys, one of which you're going to think right now is Chubb because they're going to get 13 extra million from him with a post-June designation. The other is probably Tua because there's just so much money there to deal with. The Dolphins could look to cut him early and carry all $99 million in dead cap. People could talk about it however they want. Dolphins can carry $99 million dead cap on, or they can do a post-June cut, and they'll carry $67 million this year and the remaining of the 99 the following year. And that's probably what they're going to do. Because if they cut them early, then they won't be cap compliant. Then they'll have to, you see what I'm saying? Like, well, they could wait till after the league year and cut them early. I guess they could do that. It's a shit show. It's a shit show in the way which the books were managed. I said so when it was happening in real time over the past couple of years when people were paying the market is the market, paid to this literal building of this football team to prove that Tua is your guy, and the absolute sellout in every manner of finances, draft capital, everything to prop him up. And then where you've lost all that time, energy, money, you figure out a way to sprinkle pieces on defense and stuff like that. This was bound to blow up. Now, if Tua was the guy, you kind of did it the right way. If Tua was the dude, if Tua was an elite talent, if Tua was Lamar Jackson hitting on a rookie deal and the Dolphins did everything they did to build around him, doesn't have to be the same players, doesn't have to be the same scheme, coaching, anything. But what they did in theory was the right thing. They just did it for the wrong guy. And they were too pig-headed and bullish to look inward and say, yeah, that guy has limitations. They were just too close up to the problem to realize what was really happening, apparently. At least that's whatever. What up, Von Joe? Salute. Manson in the house as well. What's going on, Manson? Who that? What's up, Mondo? Cat in the hat. Yeah, Waddle. There's going to be talk on Waddle. Again, these are a couple players we're going to talk about. But this James Daniels, right? The Dolphins cut him, and it's going to cost them an extra little over $1 million, $1.2 million more to cut him now rather than cut him later or keep him on the team. It would cost him $1.2 million more to cut this guy than it would to keep him in a position of need. Now, the juicy part about James Daniels that people aren't talking about, or some are, is that Dave Hyde confirmed on Monday or last Monday, or was it last Monday? Just a couple days. Anyhow, that the Dolphins expected him to play at some point, and he just straight up said, no, I ain't going. James Daniels is this year's now. Didn't cost the Dolphins $10 million like it usually does, but he was last season's Will Fuller. There's always one guy the Dolphins end up bringing in here, and I remember when they signed James Daniels. It was like, we fixed our guard situation. Fans are worried about it. Blah, 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 blah. And it just seemed like it was the big name free agent we signed that year. It was like at least they're making smart, savvy business decision moves like a James Daniels. Blah, blah, blah. I remember. I'll never forget it. I was like, this freaking guy who's been injured a bunch, you're never going to see him play football again. James Daniels, at best, is a rotation guy and probably not playing football anymore. Probably have had enough injuries. Big dude, probably sick of eating, working out, rehabbing, probably just sick of it. Made a couple mil. I'm out of here. I don't blame him. Oh, yeah. 100%. Tyreek Hill is going to end up on a team at some point. He's too talented, and Tyreek Hill sells tickets, bro. Somebody won't pay for that. And I don't know what it'll be when he comes back, but will anybody be surprised if maybe not this season, But the following season, Tyreek Hill is out there doing Tyreek Hill, going off for a couple of games. I mean, it's not going to surprise anybody. I wouldn't be surprised with look, Tyreek Hill got bills. He's got X's. He's got a lot of overhead for a young athlete. He's going to need to put together 4 or 5 more years in the career, making as much money as he can to sustain the lifestyle he has created for himself, while also maintaining what is a pretty good brand, that Cheetah brand. So he's going to be fine. Yeah, Zach Wilson, out of here. Darren Waller, I would try Darren Waller. Is he going to price himself out of what the Dolphins can afford? I don't know. But keeping a Darren Waller on a guy who you could say to him, hey, look, man, we only want you for Darren Waller is last season. You know what Darren Waller is? He was Teron Armstead. We got rid of Teron Armstead, and we paid Teron Armstead for 10 games a year, plus playoff games if we make it. And we just have a wink, wink, nod, nod, know that you're not going to feel good enough to play any more than 10 or 11 games. That's Waller was brought in with that same wink, wink, nod. That's why we got him for the price we got him for. Because you see, when Waller's out there, he's incredible. But he can't do that all year round. Now, maybe he could if you gave him twice the amount of money. See what I'm saying? If you were going to give him twice the amount of money, he would give you twice the amount of effort because he'd have to. But then you could risk injuring him and losing him all year rather than having him on it, not just a pitch count in practice, but a pitch count in games. This is the new way of the NFL. This is how people are doing it now. You guys aren't seeing it, but I'm telling you, this is how people are doing it. If they want to bring Waller in on something like that, I'm fine with it. I don't care. I don't think it's going to help the bottom line, but I think it could help with fan morale, seeing him out there, do some things. Put up 2 touchdowns and 120 yards in a game. What's that worth to you, Miami? Yeah, he'll sit half the season. Mansa. He will. But they know that. That's like an unspoken agreement amongst them. That's why they didn't have to pay him so much. Smart. Yeah, I'm good with Dolchich. I like Dolchich. I think they should keep him. Oh, Tua's gone. Tua's definitely getting cut, guys. 1,000,000%. Don't worry about it. It's happening. They're not going to bring him in. There's no point. The money is what the money is. The market is what the market is. The money's the money. There's 99 mil. You're going to pay him. You can pay him whatever to stay on 60. I think it's 64 million. He's like the second, or I think he's the second biggest cap number this year. Second to only Lamar. I think Lamar's due 75 mil. 70-something mil. They screwed themselves on that. That's what got Harbaugh fired. What's up, Greg? Yeah, no, they're cutting him. And that's going to be that. Finally. Oh, yeah, and the other guy who's already cut is Nick Westbrook Akine. I mean, I remember everybody's like, oh, we got our deep. He's a guy who's going to stretch the field for us on deep throws. And I laughed when people told me that. I said, Tua can't throw the ball deep. Like, what are you talking? So what? That Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are forcing one of the 2 high safeties to cheat down, and Westbrook Akine can be on man-to-man coverage and have all. If Westbrook Akine was on the outside and Hill and Waddle's in the slot, or Hill's in the slot, and he's streaking upfield with man-to-man coverage, and that guy gets on his outside, he could look inside for the post and have the entire open field wide open. I've seen it. You can go back and look at the film. Wide open concept designs where all you needed to do is make that second read and buy enough time in the pocket to throw the ball. But most importantly in that is to possess the arm strength, which Tua did not have. Didn't have the arm strength, couldn't do it, and that's what ended up happening. That's the facts. Ultimately, Westbrook-Akine only caught 11 passes for, I think it was 89 yards, not even 100 yards. He wasn't the deep zone jump ball 50-50 guy people said we were going to use him for. He wasn't the stretch the field guy we used for. What he was is what they always use everybody for since McDaniel had Tua, Waddle, and Tyreek, is to block and set these like pick plays in the field to create these bubble space windows or use them as run block guys downfield. And you kind of showed your hand. That's who he was, and that's what we got, and he's gone too. No love lost there. Well, you say, Mondo, you say that he was supposed to be a red zone target when a lot of his touchdowns came on big plays from wide open, being open downfield. That's what he did a lot. He had some red zone jump balls, but most of those touchdowns, I think 6 of those 8 touchdowns were where he kind of like caught it on the run, man to man, no safety help, back in Tennessee. So hit the like button, everybody. What else do I have here? All right, so little listing here of a couple players that we could see next to be cut. I think it's pretty obvious to say Tua is going to be cut. It would be more obvious to say that he'll be cut and not play for the Dolphins at all. The manner in which they choose to take this dead cap money with a post-June designation or just a cut off rip, they'll probably do the latter, right? They're probably going to do a post-June. They're probably going to take 60-something million this year and put the remainder into 2027 because that makes sense financially for the books. I don't even know what you could you can't keep much of anybody doing it the other way. What up, Shake? Hit the like button, brother. So anyhow, the thing with Tua that they keep talking about, they've been talking about, Tua he would like to have a change of scenery. They're trying to rebrand this in a way. And they've been trying to say that, trade partners and who would be interested. No team will trade for Tua. Let me make that abundantly clear. There's not a team, unless the Dolphins are prepared to carry Tua Tagovailoa on their roster till the second preseason game before they have to make roster cuts. Only then would somebody potentially want to trade for Tua because they could be in some form of situation where their quarterback goes down and they need a guy who can come in and play right away. But who on earth would say, yeah, I think I'm going to trade for Tua. And even so, if they did trade for Tua, the Dolphins are going to eat so much money. They're literally asking for a lot of things to happen while they are holding Tua on this team. Fans are sick of him. Finally, the same dumb fans that loved him, though, are throwing themselves at the altar of Malik Willis and the altar of Kyler Murray, the altar of go trade for Mac Jones. The cap isn't real. It's not real. The hell, it's definitely real. Is it manipulatable? Is it, can you do a lot of things with it? Yes, but ultimately at some point, you're going to have to pay at least some of that money you've been talking about paying. Yeah, you can give a guy a $150 million deal and only guarantee 50. But you still got to pay this money. You can't go out and buy talent and trade for talent and pay and extend talent and then extend them the next fucking year and think, let's just keep doing that. No, it doesn't work like that. Nothing in life works like that. You borrow, equity out of your home to remodel your house. And you go, I take $100,000 out of equity in my house. I put a bunch of money into my house, but you know what? I kept $40,000 and I started living a lifestyle that I really enjoy. I go back to the bank and I say, hey, remember that 100,000 I took out of equity? I put $40,000 into repairs in my house. Let's get it reappraised. Well, guess what? You got another $50,000 in equity. Well, let me get that too. And you're living your lifestyle. You're living your fucking pimping lifestyle. Well, all of a sudden now you owe more money and you spent all that money and you have no equity and now you laid on your bills. Now you're late on your bills. Now they're not going to take the house away from us, thankfully, but they are coming into the house and taking all the furniture. We're going to still have a roof over our heads. Water's still going to run, but we're living on ramen noodles for a little while, Dolphins fans. We're going to live on ramen. And, we're going to sneak into hotels and eat their free breakfast, continental breakfast. We're going to live on ramen and continental breakfast. You're going to do your laundry at your mom's house. That's what's going to happen, Dolphins fans. Because it isn't just the purge of these players. It's the purge of the financing. And I'm here for it. Thank God. Thank God they're doing this. Because this is where we've ended up. This is what it is. You could do this or you could buy against it. And that was the ultimate reason Greer's fired, McDaniel's fired, Tua's going to get cut. Is because last year, at the end of the 2024 season, when Tua was obviously just coming up too short, obviously wasn't going to cut it. Rather than the Dolphins biting the bullet, looking themselves in the mirror and having an honest conversation, they decide to hide, put their noses up in the air, blame the people that they could blame, and they tripled down and said, we're just going to soft rebuild and we made the right decisions and stuff. They didn't pull a Band-Aid off. They make trades for Minka Fitzpatrick and all. Like, fuck that. Did you cut to it then, bro? Let's go. We made the wrong decision. They couldn't. Now, they could do that again. They could say, you know what? We were closer than we kind of thought. If we just didn't have two of this, like they could fucking lie to themselves all over again. But and it's easy to not lie to yourself right now because the fans are kind of expecting. This is something we've seen before. They kind of understand it. They're like, oh, why are they like if somebody who doesn't know football real good? Why is Tyreek Hill getting cut? Well, he's injured. Oh, well, he's injured. Well, isn't he a good player though? Yeah, but the last guy got him. What last guy? You mean the general manager? Yeah, he's the last dude that brought him in. That quarterback. It's turning over. So right now, getting rid of all the things that failed from the last regime look like good smart moves. Good smart moves, guys. Hit the like button. But they're easy moves. They're easy moves. Fans are clapping for this. But when's it going to get a little harder? When's it going to be that the fans aren't clapping for you? Because Dolphins seem to be doing it the right way, and I like it, and I'm going to be clapping. But I know these fickle Dolphin fans and this immense amount of casuals and morons in this fan base. It's really just straight littered with them, sadly. And they're going to be upset when they're watching their Dolphins get their teeth kicked in. wondering why. They want to have something to cheer for and root for. That's why they're clamoring for Malik Willis. Let's talk about Malik Willis real quick. People are talking Malik Willis is going to get 20, 25 million a year. Like, what does that look like? I think he's going to garner interest, and I think also teams in the NFL are highly more likely to like these retread quarterbacks because of what's going on in the NFL with Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, who just won the friggin' Super Bowl. Like, these retread guys are becoming the new trend. We know how Dolphins are trendy as fuck. They don't like creating trends. We used to make the trends here in Miami. Now they like to follow. They're followers all of a sudden. That's just the facts. They're followers. And yeah, and this in particular quarterback, this retread, this potential next guy is it's very easy of a decision because the GM and the coach both know him. They like this guy. He runs our system. He's gonna be this. But Malik Willis has had very limited, and I mean extremely limited action. Drew Patron, what up, dog? Salute. And God bless, buddy. God bless. Love that. Miss you, bud. Make sure to come around. But yeah, this decision seems to fit all too easily together. Hey, we've got Malik Willis. He's played really well. He's running a system that we kind of possess with a coaching staff we really kind of like, and blah, 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 blah. And now I'm hearing, he's garnering a lot of interest, 20 to 25 million. Malik Willis has got like 1,000 passing yards in the NFL. Like, what do we think Malik's going to go for? Does anybody really? I mean, I don't know. Do you guys really want Malik Willis? For what is my question? Why? What's the purpose of having a Malik Willis led Miami Dolphins in 2026? I'm asking. Can someone explain it to me? Is it because you think Malik Willis is the Cinderella story of 2026? That he's going to throw the Miami Dolphins, a franchise inspired, financially destroyed, limited, and cap. I mean, we're going to pick some rookies this year, but okay. Like those guys, you're going to smash every friggin' rookie out of the park and, not really make a lot of free agent moves because you ain't got the money. Your big free agent move is going to be Malik Willis. Cap, you want Malik Willis for 1 year, $15 million? Is what you're saying? 1 year, $15 million for what? What is Malik's 1 year of $15 million going to do for Miami? What's it going to do? What is it? What are we getting it for? Why? We're gonna beat Buffalo. We're gonna beat the Patriots, who are just in the Super Bowl. We're gonna win the division. If you tell me right now, $50 million gives me Willis, and with whatever scrap metal team we're gonna have left, we can still have some players. We still got Achane and Waddle thus far. Malik Willis gonna lead that. I only want Willis if John Eric Sullivan and Halfley believe he has what it takes. If there's any other group of guys, I get that, dude. I'm saying, Vonjo, when did Malik Willis become the fucking bee's knees, right? I mean, Daniel Jones was a first-round playoff-winning Pro Bowl quarterback that went for $10 million for the year he had with the Colts. But he has playing time. The man's played. I still don't. He's it. I still think what he did was it. But $10 million makes sense for a stopgap to risk, and they had a young quarterback on the roster that is fucking finicky. Like, that kind of made a little sense. You know what didn't make sense? The Jets paying what's his name from the freaking Bears? Fields. Fields has played significantly more football than Malik Willis. I want to say the Jets paid him, I think it was a 3-year deal for 40 mil with 30 million guaranteed, something like that. So is that what you're saying? You want to get Malik Willis here? Because Malik Willis for 1 year 15 is dumb. I don't think he'd even want that. He'd probably want a multi-year deal. So if you're going to get Malik Willis to walk in the door in Miami, I think it's going to look something like this. 3 years, $60 million. And probably on the low end, you get him to commit to like 30, 35 million guaranteed, which you can choose to spread out over 3 years. That would be the fiscally responsible thing to do. In which case, the first 2 years would be in guarantees and that bonus year being the third year. But now, Drubitron, that's what we do. We only backload money around here. We only rob Peter to pay Paul here in Miami. We make decisions on, well, this is a 50-50 decision. So, yeah, we're going to pay you a little more because it might be good for us if it works out. If we don't want to pay too much because if it doesn't work out, we want to kind of be savvy on the money. That's the whole fucking business model here in Miami. It's what can we bargain bin shop rather than paying what it costs and knowing and wanting it, or paying for what I've already received. You want to pay somebody money? Pay fucking Jordan Brooks. That man earns money. Zach Sealer, paying him makes still sense to me, even though he had a down year. Those contracts are easy. No one's mad about them. You're not looking at them. It's not fucking twisting a knife in your side with finances. You didn't give up capital for it. You got to make the business make sense. You just do. Kevin, we're going to talk about that, Kevin Lee. The Kyler Murray. Another name people are talking about. Now, here is an interesting thing. And I talked to TD about this at the beginning of last season. He came on, we chatted it up. And he made a good point. And I kind of fleshed it into the Dolphins and the Cardinals are both looking at high cap number salary hits. I want to say Kyler's like 52 million, Tua's like 64 million. And I think they're on the books for around 72 million, I think they're around the books for like 75 million, where the Dolphins are on the books for like 99. Okay. Now, I don't know how they do this, and they would need to get both players to agree. But you trade each other player swaps. New place, new team, restructure the money, and then you can, because once you re-sign a deal, it gives you 5 years to work with. If I put pen to paper today with a player, that means I can get 5 to 6 years to deal with to manipulate the money. And you can do voidable years out to 7, I think. In which case, I take 100 million and pay that guaranteed money little by little by little over 7 years in voidable years. It will count as dead cap. You will still end up paying it. But it also gets you a new player in a new place, and then you put him down to paper and you kind of save face for your fans. But why bring Kyler Murray here? Kyler Murray? Listen, I always thought Kyler Murray was kind of nice as far as how he plays and all that stuff. But ultimately, exactly what you think he is too small to play the game. He just is. Now, if the Dolphins and the Cardinals want to really shake things up out here in fucking football land and get everyone hype, and they're going to take these players and manipulate the money and do voidable years and do that stuff. Or maybe they both do each other favors by doing that. There'd be some collusion, to say the least, to pull off something like that. Yeah, Kevin Lee, I know. I know, Von Joe. Yeah, he is still in the league, and I get it. Yeah, I know, Georgetron. We got to be easy on the collusion talk around here. We got to be easy on the... So, okay, back to it. Tua Tagovailoa obviously getting clipped, right? Another player the Dolphins could look to cut could be, and I think, again, it's really signaling in this direction. Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick could get the Dolphins $5 million back in their 2026 cap. They can get $1 million. They can get off the contract. That's all that's owed. They're not going to restructure him. He doesn't have any guarantees beyond that. He's going to want to get out there. Minkah Fitzpatrick is one of the top players I believe will be cut. Now, they could choose to keep him. I don't know why they would. I do have more faith in Kyler as a retread than Malik Willis, to be honest with you. Malik Willis, and people think, man, whatever. I don't even want to talk about Malik Willis anymore. I don't like it. From what I'm hearing and what I've witnessed, I don't think the Dolphins are truly in for Malik Willis. I think they'd like it to be in. But I think there's all this manipulation with money and building the team that they're going to look at and get done before they even consider what they possess financially left to then go and get a Malik Willis. I don't think Malik Willis signs to anybody till after the draft anyhow. The Dolphins could draft a guy. Now, one of these teams could jump the gun and pay Malik Willis and, roll out the carpet and say he's going to be their guy. I don't think the Dolphins are it. Yes, I've heard about Anthony Richardson requesting a trade. At this point, I wouldn't trade for Anthony Richardson. I would force the Colts to either keep him or cut him. And if he's cut, I would be interested in picking him up and bringing him here. That would be that's a perfect candidate to put on my Miami Dolphins roster. I don't care if it costs me $5 million. Like, yeah, we brought in, he's a name, he's a guy, we could say all this stuff. They could try to put him in the system. Shit, he might work out in this system. I don't see how. The Colts and the fucking Packers pretty much run the exact same shit, but it could be fun. At least it's a name Dolphin fans can talk about, but I don't want to trade for him. No way. I ain't trading for him. Get up out of here. So, yeah, I look to see Minkah Fitzpatrick up at this bitch, too. Another player that makes a lot of sense to me to cut. And this is just, again, Minkah Fitzpatrick and this next player to me will get the Dolphins $15 million, $16 million total back on the cap. But this isn't about just getting cap space back and cutting dead cap, but it's about tearing this thing down properly, paying all of your debts this year while you play bad football and try to rebuild your home and do next year's draft. You're going to get some cornerstone pieces and some young players and guys you'd like this year, and you're going to want to play them a lot this year. All the young guys that aren't on extensions need to play all year this year, minus a couple of key dudes you want to keep around here that you can, right? We're talking Jordan Brooks. We're talking Zach Sealer, who probably is in his last year or two with the Dolphins. And what's his name? Who's still under a young deal, though? Paul. To me, another candidate that needs to be talked about and mentioned, and Color would say it all the time. It's time to shop and trade Jalen Waddle. That's right, boys. I was getting to it, Drew Patron. I would love to trade Jalen Waddle. I would take. I don't want to say I would take anything for him, but to me, a smart play is to trade him before the draft. Get one of these teams to trade for him. If they don't, I would trade him after the draft. Matter of fact, carry him till after the draft. Who am I drafting this year that, I guess compensation's compensation, but to me, you could get rid of Waddle for a first round pick for 2027. That's true, Kevin Lee. Dolphins. I say, personally, nobody's going to like to hear this, but I say trade Devon Achane. Devon Achane will hold out, Cap. If Devon Achane is not playing another snap of football under his current contract, I want to make that abundantly clear, Dolphins fans. You heard it here first. Well, you've heard it from me weeks ago. Devon Achane will not take a snap in 2026 without an extension. It's a fact. He won't do it. You can clip it. That's just the fact. I wouldn't if I was him. Again, sell now. Losing Devon Achane, losing Jalen Waddle, losing Tyreek Hill, losing Bradley Chubb, cutting these players, eating the dead cat this year, bringing it down. Draft a guy in the third round at quarterback. Go get freaking Carson Beck. I don't care. Use the Texas boy we got, Ewers. Bring in another dude. Fuck, I think if you brought in Carson Beck, I think he's older than Ewers by a year and a half. You take these dudes, you install systems, dude, this coaching staff's got to gel too, bro. You know what I'm saying? We don't know where the problems are in the coaching staff just yet. We got all new fucking dudes working together. Yeah, we got some guys we called up from college, some fucking assistants. I don't think you guys have looked. It's not like we got this long tenured coaching staff of successful guys here right now. There's not a bunch of there's no old heads with the names. Not like that Tennessee Titans staff. Tennessee Titans staff is going to look pretty good, and that Cam Ward going to make them look pretty good too. Mark my words. Tennessee bouncing back big time. Can't wait to make some futures bets on them. Can't afford superstars right now, Naomi Sunrider. We can't afford them. We don't need them. This is not. Dolphins fans will not be patient, and that's their problem. They want something, and the Dolphins organization is never patient. They never take the long road. They never do things the right way. And if they're going to continue to do it the wrong way, they're going to continue to find themselves robbing Peter to pay Paul, going to the free agent market and trade market to make up for blunders and misses, or to go to the free agent market and trade market to prop up where they've kind of put their toe in the sand and said, this guy is him. Make excuses, lie to themselves, lie to us. I wouldn't bring Mike Evans in here, Cat for life. If I'm the Dolphins, the only guys I'm looking to in free agency is guys I'm looking to see if I can make out of something. If I can polish, if I can turn that fucking into some precious stone. That's the guys. You can polish this stone up and turn it into an emerald. That's the guys you need to look for right now. Dudes that when you were scouting 2 years ago that you wanted to pick up in the 3rd or 4th round, but the other team got him and he's sitting on their practice squad and you can go get him. Those guys, depth dudes, guys that you can give a shot. And when they get here, they'll say, you know what, man, I can make this team. Yeah, we're not gonna be much now, but I'm gonna get snaps in the NFL. I'm gonna make the most of my opportunity. Bring back the take no talent tent, boys. Takes no talent. Takes hard work and dedication. And that's the type of foundation you need to build upon. That's the foundation the Dolphins need to build it. And you can't build on the foundation if you're, redoing the kitchen. You got to bust that house down. You got to start this bad boy up. You got to take all your financial losses on what you did. Chickens will come home to roost. And they crowing. That's what needs to happen. This team's going to need time. And to me, Dolphin fans, if the Dolphins do this correctly, 2026, they'll win no more than 4 games, preferably 2 or 3, and find themselves with the number 1 overall pick. If they can get the number 1 overall pick, number 2 overall pick at worst, that's going to give you everything to pick whatever quarterback you want, whether it's Art, whether any one of these other fucking guys. I don't know. Bring me Arch Manning. Why not? I don't care. That's a conversation for another time. But I want, when we go up, we're on the clock. I want every single quarterback that is declared available to Miami. Then that rookie year, even though they're going to have money, because they're going to have money, I say you hold. You buy some things you need, right? Like offensive guys, like offensive line. Don't let your quarterback go out there and get killed. But don't sit here and tool this young man with weapons. I want to see what he can make out of nothing. So the Dolphins in 2026 should get 2 to 3 wins. In 2027, they should get 5 to 7 wins. Year the quarterback, all of the stuff he needs to figure it out, all the things you could see what he can do, what he can't do, what he needs to work on, what you think he can do and know he can do, but he can't figure it out yet for himself. We can work those kinks. You see, hey, you know what? This son of a bitch can get out the pocket, and when he does, he looks to push that son of a bitch downfield. Well, I got to get somebody down there for him to catch it. Maybe I'll draft that guy. Maybe I'll buy him. I got money and draft picks. And I only won 6 games in his rookie year, so I got a top 10 draft pick. So I can maybe get the best wide receiver. Or give me the best running back. Maybe we got a wide receiver. Whatever. But if the Dolphins are going to build this right, we're not winning 10 games the next 2 years. And that's going to be a hard road for Dolphin fans. They just can't handle it. They can't handle it, dude. Y'all say you can. I know I can. I know a lot of you guys in chat can. I know you guys can. It's these other Dolphin fans that want to just trash on you, and you guys don't want. I'm out here. I'm glad they're losing, bro. I'm waiting for that draft pick. Well, I'm glad we're watching our quarterback struggle. You know, when Dolphin fans were shitting on Drake May with the Patriots in his rookie year, I was like, I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. First of all, they did it right. They tanked the year prior. They got a draft pick. They didn't spend. You know how much money? The Patriots had like $39 to $40 million in cap space his rookie year. They didn't spend damn near any of it. They got a bunch of cap space now. I think they got like $70 million. This is his sophomore year. He went to the Super Bowl. Y'all don't understand. We were doing this. We were doing this with Flores. But they fucking shoehorned it in with Tua. They overthought it. And then rather than take the slow roll with Tua, because it was such a blunder as soon as they got him in the building because he was fucking weak, still not ready to go. People forget, dude, his rookie year, he wasn't ready to go. They couldn't look at him. It was all the fucking COVID year. It was that whole weird time. They blinked their eye. It's 2022, and they're like, shit, we didn't want to play off. What are we going to do? We got a coach that doesn't like him. And then they blew all the future. I said it then. I was like, oh, we're fucking better win something the next 4 years, because if not, we're going to have to fuck this team up. Here we are. Yeah, cap. Seattle is the 5th most cap space right now. They got like 80 mil. Ain't even whatever. Well, guys, that's it. Hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate y'all coming in. Keep the notification bell on, because I'm going to be popping in and out as news comes up over the next couple of months. You know, in and out, some on the weekend, some during the week. And then April, Insomnia coming back. Shout out to Shake Money. Y'all should be excited about that. I am. And then we're also gonna come late summer, and as spring football comes around, I'll be ramping back up. Got a lot of stuff moving on around here. So I'll see y'all later. Fins up.